to 82,000.
I see my name in shining lights, yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire.
It's time to get down to business on the weekend's #1 business program. Known as the King of Networking, your host, Shalom Klein, has worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and created countless jobs. So, to success. Let's get down to business.
We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship and business. We talk a lot about business here. You're on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you're there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you will not want to miss. It's a live show. You could call into the beautiful studio here in Elk Grove Village, 312-642-5600. And remember, we are powered by our good friends at Tandem HR, your solution center. Give them a call, 630-928-0510, 630-928-0510. We call them our solution center, and they have many solutions on their fantastic new blog on their website, tandemhr.com. So first up on the program, I'm thrilled to be joined by my longtime friend, Gregg Salkovitch, who is the owner of Right Choice Resources, a national sales recruiting company based in downtown Chicago. Gregg, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Shalom. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's great to have you on because we talk about this subject all the time, and I can't think of anybody that knows more about the topic than you. So, Gregg, what is Right Choice Resources?
Sure. So, Shalom, Right Choice Resources is a sales recruiting company. We're actually based in downtown Chicago, and we're in the River North area, and we specialize in sales. So salespeople, account managers, and sales leaders. And we work with companies of all different sizes, anything from the software industry to the industrial industry.
Well, spoken like a true sales professional, Gregg, you have had quite the career. I know that you have you received your bachelor's from Miami University with a major in organizational behavior management, and then you have an MBA. And then you went off on a very successful career as a sales professional. Let's talk about your career first before we talk about the careers that you helped to create.
Sure, be happy to. So my whole career has been in sales. So I was a salesperson before I was a recruiter, and I am just super passionate about sales. I was always a top performer. And then, it's funny, and Shalom, this is why we actually became friends and got to know each other and got introduced by 5 different people, which was, kind of an inside joke between us. But, I was sitting down with one of my friends, and I really, wasn't loving my job, and he said, Gregg, I'm going to give you the same advice that my dad gave me, which is find something you're passionate about, and the money will come. So I took a huge pay cut to get into recruiting because that was really my passion, was helping people and paying it forward. I just have never really monetized it before, and that's how I got into recruiting.
So there's 2 sides of the conversation that I want to make sure we cover. The first is from the professional's perspective. It's interesting because I feel that that a fantastic sales professional will likely be, for lack of a better term, recruited almost every single day. They have that certain shine, that certain polish and professionalism, and pretty much any company that's smart will be itching to bring them on because, as my dad taught me a long time ago, it's all widgets. It really doesn't matter what industry they're in. So what should a sales professional be looking for? And how do they sort of weed out the garbage from the fantastic real career opportunities that are actually meaningful and will likely be a game changer?
Sure, it's a great question. So typically what I recommend, Shalom, is obviously Glassdoor is a great resource to go on to, glassdoor.com, and it has company reviews, and you can look at compensation and so on. So I always recommend that. And to me, the biggest thing is networking, because a company is always going to tell you they're great and there's advancements and so on. But when you can find somebody in the inside who has worked there and knows them and so on, you can get the real scoop. And one of the most common mistakes that I see, and where salespeople sometimes get themselves in a little trouble is that the companies, I mean, you know this, Shalom, they'll say it's a $50,000 base salary and $100,000 total in the first year. That's the expected earnings. And then they get there and they realize, gosh, that's not really true. It's really probably more like $70,000. That's really more realistic. So I always like to ask the question, rather than saying what are expected first-year earnings, saying, can you tell me a little bit about the first earnings of some of your team members, the people that have worked there in the first 12 months? What did they make at the end of 12 months? And that, to me, that's a bigger, better question, because a lot of people get themselves in that trouble. I hear it every day where they say, gosh, they told me I was going to make 100 and I ended up making 70.
Mm-hmm. And now from the company's perspective, finding the right talent, everybody knows how challenging it is to onboard somebody, even somebody that will be a self-starter like most sales professionals are. What can companies do to make sure that they are bringing the right person on? And I guess that's the whole selling point for a company like Right Choice Resources. But talk about the responsibilities of recruiting the right way.
Sure. Well, first of all, when you find a great salesperson, I mean, they're hard to come by. And one of the things a lot of companies do, and I give the analogy, it's like dating. Both parties have to be interested. It's just not one party. So I always recommend that you have to pursue them just like they're going to pursue you. You have to show them you're interested. You have to follow up with them. If there's a delay, you have to tell them why. So communication is really, really important.
Absolutely. And what is the state of the market right now regarding jobs in general, but in particular sales professionals such as the ones that you recruit? Is it leaning more towards the professionals? Are there more opportunities for them, or vice versa?
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities for salespeople right now. I mean, the thing I love about sales, Shalom, is when the economy's down and companies aren't doing well, how do you get better? Is you increase your sales. And vice versa. You always need to increase your sales, whether the economy is good or it's bad, or companies doing good or bad. So yeah, there's a huge market right now, and right now there's really a war on talent, and that's why our company has been doing well, and why a lot of people call us is because it's a challenge right now. Everybody's going after the same people. So
I'm chatting with Gregg Salkovitch, the owner of Right Choice Resources, sales recruiting firm in downtown Chicago. Gregg, I'd like to make sure we talk about small companies, because as you know, that's the focus of this program. Those companies that are getting started, and they may be really cool, creative companies, technology companies like many of those firms downtown that may be the next big idea. What can they do to bring on people that will help get them to the next level? And likewise for the sales professionals, would you suggest that some of those companies, that some of those individuals look to take a little bit of a chance, take a little bit of a risk in getting in on the ground floor of those opportunities?
Yeah, absolutely. And Shalom, I've been a small business for the last 7 years. So I can completely relate to you and the listeners of running a small business, because I've had to get creative. I can't put together a huge base salary and compete with some of these big companies. So one of my recommendations, and I've always hired this way, Shalom, is hire the best available athlete. And you said this a little bit early in the show, is sales skills are transferable. So the recent person I hired, our director of recruitment, he came from a logistics background, but he understands sales. He understands sales process. He understands what it's like to be a candidate who's interviewing. So he understands both sides, and the skills are transferable. And I think that's in most industries. And my background's in packaging sales. I sold boxes and bubble wrap most of my career. And the joke of why I had to start my own company was because nobody would hire me. I mean, nobody wants a box salesperson to be a recruiter, not very many. To me, it's 90% skill and that you transfer over, and 10% you're going to have to learn the new industry. So that's one way I get creative. Some of my smaller clients, I love working with smaller clients because you can actually really, really impact them, is get creative. Create bonus plans. Create, and a lot of them. Some of my clients have stock options and other things like that. And I would really sell them on the opportunity of you're here to get on. You're here on the ground floor. You're going to be able to do bigger things here than you would at the big company. And that's, to me, really appealing to salespeople. Oh,
that's some great advice, and that's why companies big and small should be working with you, Gregg, at Right Choice Resources to make sure that they have the process, that they are being competitive and bringing on talent. Right Choice Resources. So, Gregg, if folks want to learn more and perhaps just pick on some tips and advice from you and from your fantastic team, how can they learn more and get a hold of you?
Sure. So the best way to learn more about us is go to our website, which is rightchoiceresources.com. And right is with an R, as in Roger. And that would be the best way. And you can also email me at Gregg@rightchoiceresources.com. And Gregg is spelled with 2 G's at the end, so it's Gregg at rightchoiceresources.com.
Well, check out the website, rightchoiceresources.com. Gregg Salkovitch, we appreciate your time this evening and look forward to having you back on the program to discuss recruiting sometime real soon.
Thank you so much, Shalom. Really, really appreciate it. Always great to talk to you.
Absolutely. Well, coming up, we've got some other fantastic guests. We're going to be talking all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Chicago, don't touch that dial. You're listening to the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. As always, get on my website, shalomklein.com. You can download podcasts from this program and the over 600 guests that we have had on the air over the past several years. ShalomKlein.com. Follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. We'll be right back on Get Down to Business.
How can you get from here